The Xeleri Dominion, a brutal and technologically advanced empire of reptilian conquerors, had ruled the Orion sector for over 10,000 years. Every species that encountered them had only three options: enslavement, exile, or extinction. When they discovered Earth, they didn't see potential allies or equals, only another primitive race to be wiped from existence. Humans were unpredictable, rebellious, and, most of all, dangerous. The Xeleri High Council deemed humanity a threat to galactic stability. If left unchecked, they could become a force too powerful to control. And so, the extermination order was given. They came with fire. The fall of Earth. It started with blinding flashes in the sky. At first, the people of Earth thought it was a meteor shower, a cosmic event of rare beauty. But beauty quickly turned to horror. Massive Xeleri warships, sleek and black as obsidian, broke through the atmosphere. Within minutes, plasma cannons rained hellfire upon the largest cities: New York, London, Beijing, Rio de Janeiro. Within hours, they were reduced to nothing but smoldering ruins. Humanity, however, was not an easy prey. Nations united like never before. The world's most powerful militaries launched everything they had: nuclear missiles, orbital defenses, and experimental weapons. The sky became a battlefield with human pilots taking down alien crafts in suicidal dogfights. The Xeleri suffered far more losses than they had anticipated. Their commanders were furious. No species had ever resisted for this long. What should have been a quick extermination turned into a months-long war. But despite humanity's resilience, they were outmatched. City after city fell. Billions perished. The remaining survivors were forced underground, hiding in vast bunker networks beneath the ruins of their once great civilization. The Xeleri grew impatient. They decided to end the war with their ultimate weapon, a genetic bioweapon designed to erase human DNA from existence. Within days, the surface of Earth was silent. To the Xeleri, the war was over. Humanity was gone, or so they thought. The rise of the Immortals. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, hidden in underground laboratories, a team of scientists had been working on something that could have changed the future: Project Genesis. It was meant to be a breakthrough in biological evolution, a way to enhance human DNA to survive in extreme environments. The war had forced them to accelerate their research, but they were too late to deploy it, or so they believed. The Xeleri bioweapon should have wiped them out. Instead, it triggered something unexpected. The altered DNA of the test subjects adapted rather than decayed. The human body, instead of breaking down, rebuilt itself stronger. Cells no longer aged. Wounds healed instantly. The human body could withstand extreme conditions, even regenerating from mortal injuries. The bioweapon had failed, and in its failure, humanity had evolved into something beyond death itself. A new humanity. Over the next 2 centuries, the underground cities flourished. The survivors weren't just surviving, they were thriving. New technologies were developed, far beyond anything that had existed before. The human mind itself expanded, pushing the limits of science, engineering, and warfare. And they had not forgotten what had been done to them. While the Xeleri ruled the galaxy without fear, believing humanity to be nothing more than a footnote in history, the survivors prepared. They built ships, weapons, and an army unlike anything the universe had seen before. And when the time was right, they returned. The human counterattack. It began without warning. On a quiet night, the skies above Xeleri Prime, the heart of the Dominion, exploded into chaos. A fleet of massive, sleek human warships, silent as shadows, faster than anything in existence, appeared out of nowhere. Before the Xeleri could react, the bombardment began. Entire cities were reduced to molten craters in minutes. The Dominion's once invincible fleet was shattered before it even had a chance to retaliate. The Xeleri, in shock, scrambled to mobilize their armies. They expected to face desperate resistance. What they found was something else entirely. The Immortal War. The Xeleri ground forces engaged in battle, confident in their superior numbers and weapons. But then they saw the horror unfold before them. The humans did not die. Plasma rifles, blades, explosives. Nothing worked. Soldiers who had been shot through the chest stood back up. Those torn apart by Xelari energy cannons regrew their limbs in seconds. The battlefield was filled with warriors who refused to fall. The Xelari panicked. This was unnatural. This was impossible. But it was real. For the first time in 10,000 years, the Xelari felt fear. The end of the Xelari. Within a year, the once mighty Dominion collapsed. Their fleets were destroyed. Their armies were annihilated. Their colonies were burned to the ground. The last Xelari ruler, Supreme Chancellor Voktorak, found himself in the throne room of his dying empire, kneeling before the leader of the human forces, General Elias Carter, the first of the Immortals. The ancient reptilian warlord trembled as he looked into the cold, unyielding eyes of a man who should have been dead centuries ago. You should not exist," Voktorak gasped, his voice shaking. Elias Carter tilted his head, studying the pathetic creature before him. "And yet, here we are." Voktorak swallowed his fear. "Please, mercy." Carter's face remained expressionless. He leaned in closer. His voice, when he spoke, was barely above a whisper. "No." With a single motion, he ended the last of the Xelari rulers. A new age begins. The war was over. The Xelari were no more. And the galaxy looked upon humanity with awe and terror. They were no longer just another species. They were something beyond mortal understanding, eternal, unstoppable, and unbreakable. They had been hunted to extinction. Now, they ruled the stars.